What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into The Flash issue number 795. This will be part 7 of the 1 Minute War, with the Flash family in full retreat, with them mourning the loss of their family members. Barry tries to find a way to stop the Fraction once and for all, with Wally West disappearing, with the death of Iris. Barry has been in such a very bad place. Barry is in such a bad place that he would even be willing to go and create a flashpoint to reverse all of this if he could. But while they deal with all of these losses, they know that they still have to win this war. And so the Flash family prepares for the most epic of battles. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we pick up with this issue, we have Liberty Bell. On July 8, 1776, a bell had rung from Independence Hall in Philadelphia. This called all the citizens together as the Declaration of Independence was read aloud. Years later, the bell was looked as a symbol, giving it the name Liberty Bell, declaring it a beacon of freedom for enslaved people. Now, Jesse Quick's mother, she had said that the bell gave her powers. Some thought it was the vibrations interacting with everything they have going on in their metagene, but she thought it was something else. She thought it was a symbol, one that stood for good, for peace, and for truth. Today, the world doesn't need Jesse Quick. Today, the world needs Liberty Bell. That's where we have Jesse Quick coming out wearing the Liberty Bell costume. Max Mercury making a note saying that her mother would be proud of her. But our heroes are preparing for the last battle, 2 miles from the center of the building, 2 miles before they make things right. The only thing they have to do is stick together. Now, this is what picks us up with earlier. Barry wasn't really sure about this, but they didn't really have another choice. While the others say that they could leave, they could go hide out, and they could really prepare a good counter against them, Barry says that he's not leaving. Not if there is a chance to save everybody right now. As Barry goes on to explain exactly what his plan is, he says the spire acts as an antenna, channeling speed force to those wearing their artificial conduits. But it's not the only antenna out there. The other conduit, of course, being the speedsters themselves. Now, Barry's theory is that the speed force has dissipated throughout the globe, almost like a cloud. And while the speedsters are able to process some of it, it is not a direct connection like they had before. That is the reason that they aren't going at top speed. That's why Barry hasn't gone back in time and ended all of this nonsense. Consequences be damned. But he believes if they stay together, they can become a hotspot for the Speed Force. They can draw it in a greater concentration, increasing their speed and, more importantly, increasing the friction cushion that protects all of them while they run. And when it comes to the wall, that is where Jesse comes into play. Now, picking us up as our team begins to move in, we see the Flash family moving in a unit as they make their way directly towards the spire. The Friction sends out some ships, but these ships are unable to hit them. All the speedsters moving together has put up the protective barrier that is not allowing anything to touch them. And as we see all of our speedsters part, this is where Liberty Bell comes up. She comes running in and she throws one hell of a punch. As this appears to break down the wall we pick up a little bit earlier. Max Mercury and all of them planning this plan. Max has to ask the question that if they're able to get through the wall, then what? Barry tells them that they're not planning on destroying the spire. They're not trying to destroy the antenna. What they want to do is supercharge it. And this all comes down to Einsteinian physics. They use their connection to the Speed Force to overcharge the Fraction's connection. This will make them faster. But the closer an object goes to the speed of light, the more likely that they will go back in time. And so Barry's idea is to go in, overcharge them with so much speed force that the fraction will literally go back in time without a choice, which means none of this would have ever happened, and they can prepare for the invasion properly. They can propel it before it even arrives. And so in present day, we see our speedsters coming up to the spire. Almost over their target, they begin to count down. They say 3, 2, 1, and then there is a giant explosion of Speed Force energy. But we do get a conversation between Linda and Barry that happened previous to all of this going down. While everyone is excited to get everyone back, all of their loved ones, so on and so forth, not everybody will be returning. Wally West will not be returning. Now this will turn back time. This will save the world. But Wally isn't like every other temporal being. They are part of the Speed Force. There is a reason that they can remember their universe being rebooted countless times, being separated from regular continuity, and because he is separate from whatever is done to him, he exists outside of time and space, which means when they do this, it will not be reversing what happened to Wally. Now that's what picks us up with Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick was able to escape the laboratory. With a giant gun on his back, he is making his way through the Fractions facility. He is going to cause as much mayhem and trouble as he possibly can. As he overhears some of the guards, he knows that the other speedsters are doing something out there. So he takes this opportunity. He does everything he can to hold off the forces on the inside. It doesn't take long for our speedsters to infiltrate the facility. But once they land, this is where the Fraction is there to meet them. With Jay Garrick sneaking up behind, we see the Flash family go full force at the Fraction's forces. They take on everybody. But even with their vast numbers, even with their vast power, our speedsters are still getting their bell rung, letting Barry know that there is nobody left to save him, that this fight is going to be over, that they are going to be nothing more than living batteries, living conduits for the betterment, for the greater good, and for the Empress. That's what takes us to Elsewhere. Now this is what takes us to Elsewhere. We have Wally West, who is waking up. After what had happened to him, he didn't know where he went or what had happened truly. But he wakes up to the likes of Gold Beetle in his face, asking where he is and what's going on. She tells him that he is right where he is supposed to be. That this place used to be called Time Point, but now it has been renamed for quite a while. What they call this place is Planet Flash. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. The next issue will be closing out this story arc. It will be bringing an end to the 1 Minute War. And we all knew that Wally West hadn't died, while Barry and the others may be believing that that is what happened, or at least that he is someplace outside of time and space that they cannot locate him. We are seeing that he has been pushed into the future, so far into the future that there is an entire Planet Flash. Now, if I remember correctly, we had seen Planet Flash before. We saw Planet Flash during the Future State event, if I'm not wrong. And while we had only got glimpses of it, I was really hoping that eventually at some point we would get the opportunity to revisit Planet Flash. And that is exactly what it looks like we are getting. More than likely, this is going to be the next story arc. But this is definitely not the last time that we are gonna see the Fraction. We have seen them going against the Fraction in the future. If Barry is simply sending them back in time so this didn't happen, the Fraction is still in existence. They are still out there waiting for their opportunity to take down Earth. Now, of course, they're more than likely going to regroup, recognizing that they got outmatched by the Flash family. They are going to build up their army, and they are going to come back even harder. So it will be very interesting to see this battle continue on in later dates. And I am happy that we're not creating another Flashpoint. All he is doing is sending the Fraction back in time to before this happened. That he is overcharging them with so much speed force that it's not an option for them to travel in time. They will do it without any notions. They are gonna do this and they are not gonna have any idea it happened until it is already there. Now, they aren't necessarily connected to the Speed Force like the speedsters are. So the question is, are they actually going to remember this? Are they going to remember going back in time, being sent back in time by the Flash family? Or is it going to be like they never invaded Earth? That the next time they fight each other, they will believe that this is the first time they have invaded Earth. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all works. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.